Thank you for watching BlaXit. Please subscribe to our channel BlaXit, smash that like button and share everywhere.
Congratulations once again. We are here, the BlaXit office code. Of course, this interview is going to be a very brief one, and we are going to concentrate more of the long-awaited journey to meet the Gambian president, His Excellency Adama Barrow. They've been knocking the door for so many years, but finally today, June, that's my birthday month, June 11th, this happened Friday morning. What a blessed day, of course. So we will start with Juliet, and of course, she is here with another court member, the husband. He's also going to tell us how the meeting went, how he feel finally to meet the president, and what was the journey like. What they have to go through to see the president today. What happened along the journey, along the line? We want to know. So, of course, you can say hello to this video is originally for your YouTube subscribers, but we don't mind sharing it with anybody who want to have this video on their platforms. So you start introducing yourself for those who are seeing you for the first time. You tell us who you are, and we go straight to the presidency. Why was this meeting with the president important today?
I'm Nyacho Kajabi, also known as Juliet Ryan, and founder of BlaXit, which is a YouTube channel with over 3.5 million viewers. Last time I checked, which was a while ago, and over 50,000 subscribers, and which we call BlaXit Family. And today was a historical day, and you quite rightly said that it has taken time for this to happen. But I understand the processes that we have to go through. It's not easy to meet a president, not by any mean feat. And I even asked for an audience with the Prime Minister of England, and it was not accessible to us. But I think that was partly because of institutional racism and systematic racism, systemic racism, and individual and societal racism. However, the fact that His Excellency Adama Barrow gave us an audience today has meant the world to me personally, as an African, as a woman. But in terms of what it means to the whole of African descendants that are dispersed around the world, it means much, much more. And the gravity of the situation must not be understated at all. What happened today is part of a legacy that Marcus Garvey has left, that Kwame Nkrumah has left, that Jerry Rawlings, Julius Nyerere, all of the greats, all of our freedom fighters, whether it was Harriet Tubman or the Nzinga warriors, we've all been fighting for our liberation. And so today is not just the meeting with the president, but it's symbolic of our struggle to be recognized, our struggle to unify, our struggle to move forward in an Africa in which we are all significant, in an Africa in which we all can have our liberty, in which we can all work together towards prosperity. That is really, really important. And also to free ourselves from colonialism and neocolonialism. So today, I think, was important, and it was made possible by, I'd say, people that have been supporting us from the outset. And there are certain MPs here that have been championing the cause from day one and inspired us and instilled us with hope. And there are those that have been very active in the process. And I must say that Honorable Suleiman Saho has been very active. Honorable Sekou Marong has been very active. And today I have to really give it to the man who brought it all together and made it happen today. And that is really important. And that is Honorable Majanko Samusa. And he is a wise man. He is an elder in the house. And for that, I have to give him his due is due respect, his credit, and credit where credit is due. So there are also others that have been along the way, like Samba Jallow, Honourable Samba Jallow, Honourable Usman Toure, and many, many others, Honourable Lamin J. Sana, and all of the people and honourable members and stakeholders. And Honourable Khalifa Salah was one of the first on the channel. I can't, say this without overstating the importance of Honourable Khalifa Salah. Honourable Khalifa Salah came on our channel in the earlies when we first started and gave me one of the most powerful interviews that we've ever had on our channel. And he made it very clear that our return is our birthright and that we have the right to return and that we should not compromise that position. And that was once again echoed today by His Excellency. And he said something that I tell you brought tears to my eyes today. I cried, tears of joy. Today I cried because he said, he sang Peter Tosh. He sang the Peter Tosh song, which is like my favorite song. And His Excellency Adama Barrow, and he said, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. And it hit me right in my heart. And he said, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, as long as you're an African, you can return to your origin, your point of origin. And he quoted Julius Nyerere, and he quoted other Pan-Africanists. So that welcoming is more than what I expected, and more than what I could ask for from a leader. That is the proof of true leadership. And he is very pro-development here. He's very grassroots, and he's very much, a lover of his nation and a lover of his people. And that was very evident today. So it wasn't just a private meeting. It wasn't just an audience. It was a life-changing moment for me. And it will indelibly stay in my memories forever and ever. And it's my first black president. And that has inspired me to continue to maybe talk to many other presidents in order to talk about the crisis that we face of disunity, because it's a crisis. Because right now we want to come back home, and Africa is our home. His Excellency made that very clear today, and he welcomed us to Gambia, and he welcomed us as Gambians, and he's a BlaXit subscriber. So that was like the icing on the cake. Him being that was the icing on the cake.
Firstly, this day is a remarkable day in history. This day will go down in history because this day will be changing the lives of many of us that was displaced by the transatlantic slave trade. There was no other crime on earth as horrific as the transatlantic slave trade. And today, by meeting His Excellency, as they say when you meet someone, and a warm welcoming is very good. We had to wait, yes, but today we feel justified. We listened to his word, and I could see true leadership in His Excellency. I could see he's humble for the cause. And the welcome he gave us, it gave us hope. And he actually said to us, feel at home. I've been following your journey. I see what you all been doing. He's been watching us on TV everywhere. And as you know, Keba, it's not easy to meet a president. So we are grateful that we even had that opportunity to meet him. We no longer worry about the time it takes us to get there. Because when we get there, the result we got from him, is all that matters. And he recognized us. He welcomed us home. He even quote from the late, great Peter Tosh. And he said, no matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. He even thanked us to choose Gambia out of every other African country, Gambia, to come to Gambia, to make it your home. And he welcomed us for that. And today I see true leadership. And he's pro-development. So, sorry, what I want to make clear though, we are non-political. you know. So I don't want people to see us as we're getting into politics. We are non-political, but we've been championing our cause for citizenship. Yes, and one of the main person that will be more instrumental in the citizenship program will be His Excellency Adama Barrow. And today he gave us that hope. Yes, yes, and he gave us that welcoming.
When we say automatic citizenship, you met the president. Does this mean he has to give you automatic passport or our birth certificate? When you say automatic citizenship, what actually do you need the presidency and the Gambian people?
Yeah. First, let me break it down because it needs to be broken down. There's two elements to the word. That's why there are two words and not one. If it was just about citizenship, it would just be a campaign for citizenship. But it's not. It's a campaign for identity. Yeah. And there is an identity crisis going on. You know, who are we seen as? What are we? Are we seen as our nationality, our ethnicity, our origin, our heritage? And there's been confusion around that whole issue. So in order to clarify, we've gone to the AU, we've looked at, definitions by ECOWAS, we've looked at the state of the African diaspora, the Pan-African Parliament, so many different places in order to find that, having looked across all of these, even the UN and the UN's clause about the fact that you can claim your own identity. And we came to the conclusion that we should be automatically African. Automatically, no questions asked, no qualification needed. We should be classified as African. So that is where the automatic comes in. You can't have citizenship without first having an identity. What do you want to identify as? Where are you identifying to? The AU passport, so far as we're concerned, hasn't been something that we have received yet. So we're still left in a grey area in nowhere, in no man's land. And so this is where automatic citizenship comes from. This is not a new concept. It's been employed by Israel and other nations, right, for their, especially first generation. But no one has actually experienced what we've experienced with the transatlantic slave trade. And let's not even make it sound great. It was a genocide. And it was taking people. When I mean taking, I mean stealing, kidnapping, hijacking, killing, murdering, doing the most heinous crimes to us for years. We have suffered so much, the inhumane treatment that we have gone through. But because of this, we were taken in ships, fleets of ships, and sold as property, which took us from our homeland, our mother's womb, our motherland. And when we've gone abroad now, people are saying, well, you're no longer African. And that's where automatic Africanness comes in. Yeah. Because, yeah, we have been stolen. Yes, we were taken by force. We were kidnapped and hijacked by force, not by choice. And so as a result of that, many of our foreparents are born in the Caribbean, where their foreparents were enslaved to work on plantations for the white man, for the colonizer, for the enslavers, for the murderers, for the killers, who just use us in order to build their own nations and build their own economies. But by virtue of the fact that we were born there, doesn't make us of there. Africa is born in us. It's not because we weren't born in Africa means that we're not African. And so we have to qualify this. And we want the whole of the continent to accept us as being automatically African. Now, I'm going to go to the second part. And the second part relates to citizenship. Yeah? Citizenship across the board and on the whole has been created by colonial authorities and powers and countries and institutions. And this citizenship has been imposed on most African nations that were colonized, and most of these policies, most of these constitutions haven't really been reviewed. They're still in place. They've just might have been tweaked by one president after another. They might have been reviewed, but fundamentally, the core of all of these rules, all of these laws, are not made by us for us. And so the citizenship, and particularly here in Gambia, speaks to the clauses that relate to the length of time that it takes for us to be citizens here and to have the right of citizenship. And why do we want it? Because we're Africans. And that's where the automatic comes in. Because we are Africans and we want to be recognized as Africans. And we want to come back home where we can be integrated, assimilated, and initiated back into our community. And we put forward an automatic citizenship proposal. No one wants to go to the airport and get a passport. That's not what we're talking about. There are processes and procedures, and we all know this. But what we put together was a 2-year package. One, because it would help inward investment. Because when you're not a citizen, you don't feel secure with your investment in any country. Yeah, you have one foot in and one foot out. Yeah, so that's really important because it's part of the sustainable development goals that we can work towards, is that inward investment into the Gambia. So we shouldn't also be treated the same as our enslavers. We shouldn't be treated the same as their offspring. We shouldn't have to wait 15 years the same as someone who come from, Holland.
What do we give you? What kind of documents do we give you? And how does this guarantee you that, yes, you are an African, you are a Gambian? Because already critics have started saying that, no, don't give them citizenship. What do you think they mean?
Well, Modu can be quiet because I already have citizenship. And this is what everybody's missed. I am already a citizen of Bussorah. I have already been integrated into Bussorah. And I have an integration certificate which has been stamped by the Alcalo. I already have my change of name and identity, Nyancho Kajabi, and I am already a Gambian. So, they can shout from the hills. In terms of they think that I'm here fighting for a passport, it's not about that because I can travel wherever I want. I already have a passport. What I want is to be seen as an African here, to be recognized as a Gambian here, and to be integrated into a community here. Because previously it occurred. Previously, we were given honorary citizenship by virtue of our journey. And that was by the previous 2 presidents of the Gambia. It was just unfortunate that we missed the boat for various personal reasons. So many of my colleagues are actually already Gambian citizens. Yeah. And no, they didn't have to go and beg for anything because the government conferred it on them. And he did it, in the right way, which was at the Roots Festival, which was a cultural festival. And so I think that there's a lot for us to learn moving forward. And I think a lot of the naysayers and a lot of the haters, don't understand that we're already one and that we already have our automatic citizenship already. So it's about integration into the community. That's what's important. Yeah.
Kujabi, we understand that we saw in the newspapers, they're saying, giving you people the citizenship, of course, by a renowned historian of this country, Hassum Sise. He's the director of performing arts. He's the director general of National Center for Arts and Culture. He's a historian. He told a journalist that giving these people automatic citizenship is a golden opportunity for the Gambia. Already, how much do you think you guys are spending in this country? And those people coming from the UK, from the US, how much do you think they will spend? Economic benefits of this in the country. Already they are saying it's a golden opportunity. How do you think this is really a golden opportunity?
Thanks for that question. And we've seen it happen in Ghana. And people are coming here. You have lawyers, you have doctors, you have people who reach you know, their professional careers. And most of them want to come back, you know, and work alongside with the brothers and sisters here to help develop skills, right? Skills are here in the Gambia, but together, if we bring in skills from outside to join with the skills here, it only got to be greater. There's a lot of great opportunities that we have brought into the country so far. For me, I've already built our family home. We settle down, we live here. That's inward investment, you know? Because all who we employ is Gambians and Africans in general. So it's not only just about Gambians, it's about Africans, we're all one. You know, so if people not looking at it from that point, I don't know where else they're looking at it from. Now you have Stevie Wonder, that we all know, now living in Ghana. You know, because the Ghanaian president opened up the doors for us to come back home. And many people are shouting this negativity. It seems that they have forgotten that their ancestors' bones still lying in the bottom of the ocean, right? Even one member of the royal family went on an African tour and let them go and research his words, that this should never be forgotten. So how are we, the Africans, that have lost so much to the transatlantic slavery, is evidence the damage that they have caused on the continent of Africa. You know, it's an evidence that there's white people out there living, you know, from the benefit of the transatlantic slave trade. So for someone of African descent, you know, to be using hateful words towards us, the descendants of Kunta Kinte, you know, it's not nice. It's not nice, and it shows that you have no respect for your history. And where have we lost that respect for our history? Is it because of what the colonial put in place? Because we still so much use their own educational systems, you know? And it's like being educated by your enemy. Is it going to be for the betterment of yourself? So how could you stand there in a European suit and tie to try and disrespect us, the Africans, returning home, coming from a place where we have lived with the criminals that damage the African continent? For you, as a black man, a brother, to stand there and let disrespect come out of your lips. Disrespect. Haven't we been disrespected enough? Didn't they watch the news and say how a police stood on George Floyd's neck until he died? So you're going to look into me as an African, a brother, a sister to you. We share the same descendants. How dare you disrespect us coming back to our continent? And that's why I said today, His Excellency has shown true leadership. You know, he welcomes us home and told us, be at home here in the Gambia. You're welcome here. And you know what we have experienced there. You know? So he knows exactly where we're coming from. And now we have met him. You know, we feel satisfied, you know, to be in his presence today. So to everyone out there with a negativity, please remember that your ancestors have suffered and the generation still suffering today. And Africa is still suffering today because of the transatlantic slave trade. So let's not forget that. If some of us want to pretend, you know, that we're so much in love with the white people, remember there is no love because they have not apologized for what their ancestors has done. Right? They may say, oh, don't blame us, our ancestors, but they live in the luxury. You know? They live in the privileges that they got from our demise. And they too don't want to apologize. And now we come home because remember, they always say to us in the West, go back to Africa, go back to the jungle, go back to where you come from. Africans here know this. And now we get back home, where they're going to send us to. What, they're going to send us back to the West then. So where do we go? We have a right. And what we're championing for is for our birthrights to be restored. We are Africans and nothing could change that. His Excellency has even said that today. He said nothing could change who you are. It doesn't matter where you were born. But nothing going to change that you all are Africans. So it does not matter where you're born. You're Africans. And if you choose to come back home, who should deny you? You choose to come back home. You know? So yes, as I was saying to my people out there, it's still one love. Whether you speak negative, positive, it's still one love. We all Africans, and we cannot be divided anymore. We've been divided for centuries. So some of you just rethink what you're saying. Look at what you're saying. Think about your ancestors that be hanging from trees. Think about ancestors that just killed and thrown in the street to be eaten by dogs or whatever animals. Yeah, just think about that. Think about us that been treated as less than 5% of a human being. Think about that before you open your mouth to start speaking these things, right? We have people are coming back here that invest a lot into the Gambia, you know? And also, we don't want to focus on the negativity because there's a lot more positivity that we get from our Gambians, brothers and sisters here. A lot of them appreciate what we do. You know, a lot of them work with us. A lot of them teach us the language and give us a warm welcoming. So as you always know, there's always going to be a handful. Yeah? A handful of people that always want to go opposite. Maybe seeking attention. You know, but for the attention seekers, learn your history and respect the history of your ancestors. You know, because this is not just about you. Because we all as Africans suffered from the transatlantic slave trade. And I have a right to make my suffering be known. So whoever it is out there spreading malicious lies about our campaign, right? We only put a proposal. It's now down to the lawmakers of this country to make a decision how they're going to integrate us back into the African society. And we're waiting patiently for the lawmakers to make such decision.
Now, economically, when someone returns back to the Gambia, one of the things that they want to do is either to rent a home, purchase a home, or acquire land and build a home. Those three actions, just those simple actions alone, bring in investment into the Gambia. They then would want to maybe create a business, support a business, go into a partnership, or establish a business. That creates inward investment. This creates employment opportunities. This creates business opportunities for people to establish their businesses and to be successful. For example, today, you're doing your thing, your PR, you're doing your presenting. We have African Boyo with his media. These are contracts. This is inward investment. This is an example of creation of opportunity. And not only that, there is also the capital of intellectual capacity. And that can also be here. That is also an interchangeable currency, because you've got knowledge banks. Those knowledge banks can help to develop the country. That information that can be shared, whether it's about pyrolysis or whether it's about a critical care unit, someone invested in health, someone invested in infrastructure. For example, they sent the money to do the road in Nemakunku. So I give thanks to the United Methodist Church in America, in New York. So these are people that are coming to actively improve the lives of Gambians. But on the whole, when you look at it, if 100 people come here and say, for example, they spend 100,000, and you're going to have more than that. And so they're not land grabbers, they're home seekers, they're investors. And we must call them that, because the people selling the lands are our Gambian brothers and sisters, are our VDCs, are our large companies and established land agents here and estate agents or realtors here. And we mustn't disrespect them for doing their job. And that's what they're doing. And so, you know, and making it available for us to have somewhere to call home. And that is really, really essential. I have been co-opted onto the VDC in Bussorah. And just to give you an example, Bussorah, the VDC of Bussorah, the Alcalo of Bussorah, Ali Alcalo Fai, and Mr. Jalo of Ideal Shelter Properties, and also Lamin Kajabi and Sane, they said, look, They have some land which is here, which has been laying dormant. They haven't done anything with it, and they would like to develop it. And then we discussed with them that would be a great idea. But I love the place so much, and I didn't want to destroy any trees because I love nature. And I think, keeping nature is very important. So when I said to them, this will make a beautiful eco village. And so I made that suggestion, and they agreed with the suggestion, thought it was great. And they went on to sell plots to people who want to come home. So that is money coming into the village, into the development. We also was able to raise money to do a borehole there. So it's not just the economical aspect, it's the altruistic and social aspect that can benefit. And the philanthropists coming here as well that will give equipment, hospital equipment. I think someone bought in an ECG machine. We have eye equipment, and we're just waiting for the people to arrive so that we can go and establish that. So there are many benefits. Not only that, you've got to remember the social benefits of integrating someone into your family. So I've been integrated into the Kajabi family, and my brother that integrated me, that adopted us, he's head teacher of a school. We were able to initiate the Black Books program. We were able to initiate, a fencing program to fence the school. We were able to initiate many initiatives as a result of doing that. We learned about, compo. We're learning about, I didn't know how to say Mitakati or Katora or Kasumaikeb or anything in Jola, really. And I learned a lot about Jola culture. I learned a lot about Mandinka culture, Wolof culture, Fulani culture, Sarwaswara hero. I learned so much things I never even knew. So I could never learn those things if I wasn't here. So the integration, assimilation, and I think initiation is really important. We have to be initiated back into the community. We need to be renamed. I already have my automatic citizenship in that I've been integrated into a community. That's what's most important. If you'd like to give me a passport, I would not say no, because it would be the icing on the cake of my identity. It would be the icing on the cake of my identity. I'm not going to say no. But on the whole, what's more important is acceptance by the general community and populace. That is what we want, and that is what we need. We're not Tubabs, we're not foreigners.
Long interview. Finally, I will ask you, I will throw that question, anybody can answer it. What's next after you meet the president today, His Excellency Adama Barrow? Do we expect more symposiums? Do we expect more conferences? Or you're going to say, no, we okay, now we met the president, we got what we want, it's all over for BlaXit and Code. What's next? What are the next projects for you?
There's a lot more projects that we're doing. We continue our projects, Like Sunday, we will be in Makunku, and we have raised funds to the couple that was here, from the Westbury Church in New York. And so those are the programs that we're going to be continue be doing. And we're still going to let the public know that we're here. BlaXit and God, we're still going to let them know. You know what's made fun? His Excellency actually said, BlaXit become a household name here in the Gambia. He said that. And Nyanja Kajabi. He said that. Yes, he did. Can you watch our programs? Yes. We will be continuing. And we have confidence that there are going to be changes, right? We have confidence. I mean, we've been told that they're looking into it. And I think they feel our passion as well, and I think they have recognized how much we have contributed as well into the community. How many of us sell our homes in the US, in England, and all that inward investments? I personally not taking nothing back to the West. Nothing. I don't even want to go back there. So we're not taking nothing back there. So many more people out there want to come home, and they want to come home to invest. Right now here, we have a lab for eyeglasses, and this was sent by another BlaXit subscriber, BlaXit Family. And he said this will be his contribution to the public of Gambia. He will be making the glasses, and he will be giving them away free to elderly people and to people in need of glasses. and he's a professional in his field. And many more people is coming to give back into the society. Yeah. So I think it would be an honorable thing for us all to work together as African brothers and sisters.
Are you going to sleep now and say, the president is over?
Actually, meeting the president was one step in the process. So there are many more processes to go through, because meeting the president hasn't changed the fact that there's still a 15-year wait for African descendants to have citizenship here. And I'm not just talking about, us being given citizenship as a citizen of Bussorah. I'm talking about, what is there in the actual, legislature. So yes, on a social basis, having automatic citizenship, being welcomed into a village, welcomed into a community, that is the first step for me. That is the most important step. Yeah. The second step has to be looking at the legislature, because there's another legal context to being a citizen. And that is the reason why we had the symposium, to discuss this with the lawmakers. And obviously, we can only put forward a proposal about a 2-year program of integration assimilation, and what we would like as an outcome from it. I mean, previously, like I said, we were given honorary citizenship, but the system was still in place with the 15 years. And I think before 1997, it was 7 years. But even still, us as Africans coming back were a special case. And that still is something that has to be dealt with. So unfortunately, no sleep for me. I'll still be moving forward with the agenda, and still be moving forward to look at ways in which we can create something that is stable, something that is recognized legally, something that will, I think, reflect the true essence of African unity. And I think that's what's really important.
Thank you so much once again for watching this episode. Of course, today is Friday, 11th June 2021. Finally, BlaXit Code, Council of African Descendants. They've been looking for this for more than 2 years, to meet His Excellency the President. He met them today and gave them the welcome that they are one of us, they are welcome to the Gambia. He gave them all assurance that they are one of us, they are our brothers, they are our sisters. And of course, us, you, anybody should also open their arms to make sure we integrate them into society. Already says Nyancho Kujabi, Hatip Kujabi, they got people coming through them and investing millions in this country. From me, Keba Kamara, thank you so much. Thank
One nation, one Africa. Thank you, BlaXit family. Please keep watching, and remember, follow your dreams.
Purchase your tracks today. 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 Purchase your tracks today.